Hello YouTube, this is OmniDitto here, and I'm coming at you with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. What? Yes. Okay, this is the finalized build, at least I think it's the finalized build, of my Gladiator Beast deck. Yeah, I was going to wait until I had all the cards, but it seems like it's going to take me like a couple weeks, and I was just really excited about this deck. It kind of works for the format. I haven't faced many windups or Inzektors or anything, but I'd really like to. So yeah, challenge me with your windups and Inzektors and Dino Rabbits and stuff. When I do face them, it seems to handle them relatively well. Dino Rabbits are a bit of a problem, but the side deck takes care of that. Yeah, I have a whole list of cards. Like, I have a list of decks that I'm going to face, and then a list of what to side deck against them. So I'm relatively prepared. Let's start off with the deck list, though. Alright, so I'm running 2 Prismas. I'll explain like why I'm running these cards after I just go through everything. 2 Prismas, 1 Bestiari, 2 Darius, 2 Equest, 2 Laquari, 1 Murmillo, 1 Samnite, interesting choice, 1 Secutor, 1 Gores, 2 Test Tiger, and now for the spells, 1 Hero Lives, 1 Book, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Forbidden Lance, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Mind Control, 1 Reborn, 2 MST, 1 Rhoda, 1 Shrink, and 2 Super Poly. Then 3 War Chariot, 1 Magic Cylinder, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Solemn Warnings, 1 Starlight Road, and 3 Wabaku. Okay, then side deck, 2 Veilers, 1 Retiari, 1 Grand Mole, 1 Ryo, 2 Gladiator Taming, 1 more MST, 1 Bottomless, 2 Compulse, 2 Fiendish Chain, 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. And now the extra deck, Emerald Hero Absolute Zero, Escuridao, I don't know, Gaia, Great Tornado, Nova Master, The Shining, and then Esadari, Gazuris, Heraklinos, 1 Stardust, 2 Utopias, and Steel Swarm Roach. Now, the way that this deck works is, I'm not sure if this is how all the, because I left the format right when Glads were getting popular, so I don't know if this is how the decks worked, but mine is sort of like a 4-way control thing. I control the activation of spells or traps by getting out this big guy right here who can negate them with a card in the hand, and in order to keep cards in my hand, because that's very necessary for effective discards, in order to do that, I use this guy and this guy, right? Every time he destroys a monster, I get to add 1 Gladiator Beast monster from my deck to my hand. So, every time I destroy a monster, I get one of these bad boys in my hand. One of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, basically 9 targets other than himself. And because they keep going back to the deck, they keep recycling. And then I can discard them to activate his effect. Then I can also use Equest to get back one of the chariots in my graveyard, because usually there'll be more than 1 chariot because I'm running 3 of them. Now, I try and negate monsters' effects by using the chariot loop. As you all know, I'm sure, you just set War Chariot, activate it, tag out for Equest, get it back in your hand, set it again. But in the case where I don't have enough cards in my hand and I have Heraklinos out, I'll tag out for an Equest, get the War Chariot, and keep it in my hand, and sometimes even set something else so that my opponent won't make a play because they'll just think, oh, he's going to chariot it. Now, that's how I control spells and traps, and how I control summons. Because the summons are controlled with, whatever I just said. Oh, no, that's not how I control summons. That's how I control effects, is with War Chariot, and that's how I control spells and traps with Heraklinos. I control the summons with these 2 cards right here. Little bit weird of a choice. I'm not sure, well, at least I think. Now, the way this works is use Super Poly, and I summon a Prisma. Because Prisma is an elemental hero, I can use the Omni Heroes and the opponent's monster. So that's why I'm running 1 from each attribute, because that way, no matter what type monster my opponent hands out, I can use that, and that's how I get rid of big monsters. I'll normal summon Prisma, and then that's another thing with Samnite, which is why I'm running him. I mean, most people don't run him, but the way that I'm using this deck, it's kind of integral that I run him, because I need to keep cards in my hand. So, run Samnite to put more cards in my hand, because you need to discard a card for Super Poly, and yeah. So that's how I try and control summons. It's not as effective as like other methods, but frankly, it's the best I've got right now. I mean, my side deck takes care of summons otherwise, but it's not really a huge problem. Take care of cards on the field, obviously with the Gizerus combo. I mean, that's what all or most Glad Beast decks do. Yeah, so that's how I take care of big threats. And then attacks I take care of obviously with Waboku, and then instead of running one lance and or two lances, I run one lance and one shrink, because I found that in the event that an opponent gets out a huge monster, and like I'm just drawing single monsters, and he can just keep destroying them. Drawing shrink is really good, because then I shrink it down, and as long as it's not like 4,000 attack, I can take it down with Laquari general. I mean, as long as it's not 3,600 attack or over, I could take it out with Laquari. So that's why I run one shrink and one Forbidden Lance, because it's really effective. Now, I also I think that's all the control I have. Yeah, I believe so. I don't run Proving Ground because it's not a target for eQuest, and I've found that it's a bigger deal to basically what the deck, because like I've read multiple articles on side decking and stuff, and it seems like first game you have all these like combos in your deck that you want to get off, right? Like with Windups it's the Loop, and with Dino Rabbits it's the Logia Dolka combo, and then Inzectors it's the Hornet play. I mean, Inzectors kind of keeps that play going consistently, but like Windups, most people, or the good Windup players, at least it seems like, side out for the Loop, or side out from the Loop so that they don't need it anymore. And it seems that after game one, everybody sides out to go into a beatdown deck. So here's how mine works is, I have all these cards, and then I side out to make a good beatdown deck, or like an anti-meta deck. So my side deck is extremely anti-meta. I actually have a list, like I said, of what to side deck out in certain cases. Yeah. So sorry, I just want to check how we are on time. 7:09. Holy crap! This is a long deck profile. Yeah. So side deck, 2 Veilers obviously for the meta, Retiari to get rid of, in case they're trying to do something funky with the Grave, summon him out and then remove from play their monsters. Grand Mole just take care of big monsters. Thunder King to get rid of windups and stuff, and yeah, get rid of those things. 2 Taming, it basically kind of works like Book of Moon. I mean, not so much as Book of Moon, but it still works well, and I like it because it can also, those big monsters with not as much defense. So I like that. 3rd MST just to get rid of Inzectors and Hornet. Bottomless obviously for Dino Rabbit. 2 Compulse for Dino Rabbit as well. Fiendish Chain just stops everything in the meta, and then Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This stops Dark Worlds, this stops Inzectors, this stops, what else is it? Blackwings. This stops a lot of things, and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror is just a very effective card to run in the meta. And now for the extra deck, obviously, like I said, the Omni Heroes, those are pretty, well, I've already explained those. Esadari, I don't use him very much. It's just when it's like a desperate moment and I need a 2,500 beater and I don't have, 3 cards for Heraklinos. Gizerus is Destruction, obviously. Heraklinos is Negation. The only reason I run Stardust is because I run 1 Starlight Road. No tuners in the deck, obviously. Utopias, to Utopias, just because it's good to have Utopia. And I might change that to 1 Utopia and 2 Steel Swarm Roach, depending on how popular the Hieratic Dragons are. Just as I had said in my latest video, at least latest to right now, that video about getting your Steel Swarm Roaches now because of Hieratic Dragons. So yeah, I've basically, at least I think, and I pretty adequately I think, explained how this deck works, and I've been playing with it a few times, and you'll see some upcoming videos with that. Yeah, the Super Poly is really like the weird thing. I don't know if many people run that with the Omni Heroes, but yeah, I like it a lot because Prisma's fun to run with Omni Heroes because they're just like, wait, what? I thought you were playing Glad Beast, and it's like, lol, yep. And yeah, so I think that's gonna be it for this deck profile. Hopefully this was good enough. I've never done one before, and well, this is the deck I'm playing this format, and I might profile some other decks, and if not, I will see you next format. So good night and good luck.